Hey, I figured out how to show the intro video now.
You know what's funny is it didn't show on this screen.
It did for
Like
me.
I thought we glitched out there for a second.
Oh,
How funny is that?
well, it showed for me. I guess we'll see how it goes for everything else.
In the future.
I mean, it showed in the streams. I don't know. One step forward feels like 80,000 steps back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Black Tower, a Wheel of Time podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name is Andrew. Don't mind me as I look all around my screen to get a thing ready because I forgot to make it ready for my fantastic co-hosts here who can introduce themselves now. Tell the wonderful people what they've won in terms of co-host here.
Ready?
Oh, my name is Reese, said I, your eighth on my hill. I'm your completely informed host who knows exactly what's going on right now.
Hi, I'm Pearl.
And I'm Josh. I'm your Sorb on Mahale. I am your literally everything on me is fucking broke tonight. So, if you see
Including my
me
dick.
at an angle, that's why. I wonder if I could do something.
Do a little something like this. Oh, yes. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday,
Fucking Tuesday, isn't it?
in it.
How you
gotta
going?
say, in it. Tuesday, Tuesday, in
Tuesday.
it.
Thank you, Waffles, for being the most put together out of all of us today, this fine
Tuesday, in it.
Tuesday, apparently.
Gotta say Tuesday.
Oh.
Oh my god! Ladies and gentlemen, I am currently sitting at a desk with 4 broken microphones.
Woo!
That's talent. That's talent.
Speaking of broken microphones, if you like to help support what we do here at Black Tower Podcast, get on over to blacktowerpod.com, join our Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or you can do a year at a time and get less than $1 a month. And you can support all the lovely stuff we do here. You can support us going to conventions, hosting the Gathering Madness, getting new equipment as needed, or getting existing equipment to work. Whatever we have to do. So, blacktowerpod.com, click right there on Patreon. Everything that you guys give us Patreon goes right back into the show and back out to the patrons. Which it reminds me, I need to get stuff out to the patrons this month. Y'all are owed, and the bill is due. I got to get stuff out to y'all this week.
Yeah, you do.
It's just been a hectic couple of weeks with the Gathering Madness coming up, and just kind of getting some stuff going on in life. But that's no excuse. We're going to get caught back up, get everything going. We got a lot of stuff we need to do behind the scenes to kind of get us future-proofed on that, too. Oh, man. But yeah, you can go over there and check out what we have. And you can also keep poking and pestering us until you get your stuff. By all means, feel free to do it. So, you're the ones that support us, and we say we give you this stuff. So we should.
We should.
Yeah. That being said, let's go ahead and get tonight's spoiler warning out of the way. This should cheer everybody up. Everybody loves this voice. Here's your spoiler warning for tonight.
The following show contains spoiler for the entire Wheel of Time series. If you have not finished the series, you are at risk of being spoiled. You have been warned. What does this even mean?
I do love some Gilbert Gottfried.
I think that one's working.
Finally, yes.
I can tell it's working because when you exhale, the air goes straight onto the mics. It smells like coochie and dog food. I'm very concerned about that
The
combination.
2 things I've eaten today.
Hopefully not at the same time. I like to put kibbles and bits in there and just use it like a little dog bowl.
No comment.
I mean, you know what? You ain't gonna go yucking on your yums. Do what you do.
That can't be good. That can't be good for anybody involved.
It's not.
I mean, I guess
good
there's
for
people that are
anybody.
into like puppy play, so far be it for me to kink shame, but I don't think that's like good health wise
Well,
for either party.
Yeah, no, there is such a thing as sanitation, you know.
Yeah. But it does turn dry food into wet food, so there's that.
Starting
Oh.
strong, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another
Oh.
episode of the Black Tower Podcast, where we are
Well,
here
that
to
comedy
push
Go ahead.
boundaries with our truly
with our
inspirational,
cold, wet
razor
noses.
sharp wit.
Well, while sometimes the comedy goes south, let's turn and ride north, where queens wear armor, honor weighs heavier than crowns, and you never turn your back to the fight. We're going to the
Unless-
Borderlands.
You're looking for a sheep herder from the Two Rivers. Then you can turn your back on the fight.
Oh, we're going to the Borderlands. Reese, you wanna tell everybody who we're talking about?
Yeah, Reese.
You wanna give this name a shot?
Do I want to give this name a shot?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay. We might call her. I mean, I'll give it a shot. We'll call her Ethenielle Kirukon Materasu. However, her
Materasu.
full title is
Mater Sue.
Her Most Illuminated Majesty, by the blessing of the light, Queen of Kandor, Protector of the Light, Shield of the North, High Seat of the House, Materasu.
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 Tiramisu. Mater's tiramisu.
She's got that tiramisu.
Oh my. Is that the game we're playing today? Cool.
Hey, man. So speaking of pronunciations and stuff, I learned a new word today.
Did you know?
Yeah. Errata or erratum. It's a noun, means an error in printing or writing.
Ooh.
And there is an errata regarding Queen Ethenielle herself in the always correct and never wrong The World of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time, or the Big White Book of Bad Art, or the Big Bag Book of White Art. As that one. In that book, her name is given as Ethenielle Kosaru Noramaga, which is not accurate.
Oh shit.
That name is never used in the books, but that the World of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, yeah, predates her first mention in the Path of Daggers. But we're not going to use that name. We're going to go by her actual name, because there is a reason why perhaps the Noramaga last name was given to her and the middle name Kosaru, rather than the accurate middle and last name of Kirukon Materasu. I have to say, so there's a bit of a nomenclature or phonetic similarity between inspiration for her last name or her house name, Materasu, from the Japanese goddess of the sun, Amaterasu. You just take the A off, Maratsu. So I kind of like have to keep saying the whole thing in my head, because also like Amaterasu is a really big, really popular technique from Naruto. So
Black flame.
I have to do that to get the black flame that never stops burning until it's consumed all.
Except for when it
which
does
not
stop burning.
Does it really?
I mean,
Does it? I mean, the people that start it can turn it off. It's good. They
if you
just
can
normally
turn it
don't.
on, you can turn it off.
Only you can stop Amaterasu forest fires. Be responsible. So, Queen Ethenielle. She is the Queen of Kandor, born in 946 NE, making her roughly 53-ish by the time of the start of the Eye of the World. She stands about 5 feet 4 inches tall, and is described as buxom, plump, with clear blue eyes and black hair, dusted with a few gray. A few gray what? I don't know. Hair, few gray ornaments, few gray just dust. Who knows?
She's a Snow White. She got the dark hair. She got the blue eyes.
Mm-hmm. she is stately with a considerable regal dignity. So again, like I said, born in 946 NE, that's New Era, and has at least one brother and two sisters, one of which was named Nazel and was married to Lord Ismic on Ethenielle's command. She herself was married to Prince Consort, and this is where her misnaming comes in, Briss Noramaga, sword bearer to the throne of the clouds and general of Kandor's army. By law, only one of them can leave Kandor or Chachin, which is the capital, at any given time, except in times of war. So Briss returned to Chachin from the Eye of War because of a flare-up in the Blight, during the Eye of War, and this allowed Ethenielle to go out on a royal tour with her oldest son. And this is why she is not present in Kandor for the events of New Spring, where she is also first mentioned in New Spring 22. From her marriage with Briss, she has 8 children. During the 16 years that their marriage lasts, 7 of those survive until adulthood. Antal, her first son, born in 964. Then Jareen, her first daughter, born in 966. Derek, her second son, born in 971, and then dies in 979 at the age of 8. Has another daughter, obviously younger than Jareen, whose name we do not know. 3 more sons, 2 of whom are infants whenever 979 NE comes around, and then another child, unknown if it's a daughter or a son. 7 of these children are mentioned in New Spring. The 8th is either a discrepancy not mentioned in New Spring or was born later in 979. Her heir to her family is Antol, the oldest son between her and Briss. Ethenielle personally negotiated political marriages for her children, the unnamed daughter being wed to King Esser Togita's 3rd son, and one of her sons is married to King Patir Nachiman's favorite granddaughter, and Jareen wound up marrying another Kandori lord. So Isar Togita is the ruler of Shinar, and Paitar Nachiman is the ruler of Arafel. So these are marriages to other Borderlander ruling families or other noble families within Kandor itself. Both her husband, Briss, and her son, Derek, were murdered in 979 NE by Marion Redhill of the Black Aja, posing as Blue Aja. Moraine Damodred was there when this happened, dueling Marin with the One Power, but the only person alive that knows that this happened is Lan Mandragoran, her warder. And neither Moraine's presence nor Marin's involvement in the deaths of the Prince Consort and the heir to the throne were ever discovered. So, yet another secret, Moraine is not too keen on sharing with the world. That could potentially have some disastrous effects in relationships between the Borderlands and the White Tower. Queen Ethenielle only has one named grandson, Kaisel Noramaga. Having so many children, though, it's very likely that she has many, many, many more grandchildren. Because up in the Borderlands, they be fucking, and just like them in battle, they don't pull out.
That was nicely put. Well spoken, sir. Well spoken, sir.
Man,
look, when you've got
literally
2/3 of every single generation being destroyed by Shadow Spawn, ain't nobody got time for nothing else. We fighting and we fucking. If we up in the Borderlands, we fighting and we fucking. We got 2 jobs. It's like that, the Peacemaker rules. 2 fucking rules. 1, don't be a dumbass. 2, yes or no. No, wait, is it 1, shut your fucking mouth. 2, yes or no.
I think it is like, don't be a dumbass. It's like, how am I supposed to do the first one?
But it's like in the Borderlands, like literally, that's what you've got. Like those are your 2 jobs: kill Shadow Spawn and make babies. Like,
I mean, pretty much.
That's what they got, and that transcends the classes, right? From the lowest of the low in the infantries all the way up to the royalties, because even the royalties got to do their thing. Got to make sure there's kings and queens to live on the thrones.
Yeah. On the naming discrepancy between Queen Materasu and her marriage to Briss Noramaga, the name discrepancy, you have this ties in well with the governing structure of how Kandor works, and how like their monarchy rules, and everything. I'm trying to find where I had all that down. But basically, the House Materasu is of a higher level, a higher prestige, a higher noble ranking house than House Noramaga. So Ethenielle is not going to take Briss's last name, as most other traditional marriages, even in the Westlands, work, where you take the patriarchal last name. Not here, because in much of the Borderlands, especially in Kandor, the succession of names and the succession of power and how everything works is more merits and deed based than it is lineage and bloodline based. And that's why I said that Ethenielle had an heir for House Materasu. But this wouldn't necessarily mean that Antol would have been the heir to the throne necessarily, because the Kandori monarch would be chosen through deeds and it would be noble status, but through deeds and merit and power and strength, kind of thing. Kind of like another Naruto, kind of like Hokage. It doesn't matter who your daddy and who your mama was. Can you do the job? Like, do you have the grit for the job or not?
And if you're gonna call me a hoe, you better add Kage at the end of it.
But, bruh, that was the stupidest fucking video ever. It made me laugh, but it was so stupid. No, I don't want to allow ads. Go away. Yeah. So, and so because of this, there's not like a restriction. Like, you can't just only have like a queen, like Andor. You can't only have a king. It can be either or. The spouse of the Kandori ruler, regardless, is going to be a consort called the prince or princess consort. They are not an actual equal co-ruler. They never have been, never will be. And they have very, very limited authority. In fact, Briss had a massive amount of authority, not because of his marriage to Queen Ethenielle, but because of his status as the first prince of the sword to Kandor. And I think he also had the title of like Lord of Basharande, or however you say that. Not Lord of Bashir.
Nope, different lord.
That would mean a whole different thing.
Whole different thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically one of them rules while the other is on campaign. And the one that's on campaign leads the armies into battles. In this case, it was Queen Ethenielle that would rule while Briss was leading the armies out on campaign. And Throne of the Clouds is the seat of power, the name for the seat of power in Kandor. So maybe this is more like what was the name of the village? Was it Kirigakir? The village hidden in the clouds with the Raikage? Yeah.
Oh,
Kandor is now Kirigakir. Now it's the village hidden in the clouds by the blight.
There it is. Done.
There you go.
Love it. So let it be written.
Yeah. So there's that. Her ruling philosophy. Let's get into that. Kind of how she ruled. And then I'm going to stop talking as much and let this move on to somebody else.
Yeah.
Reese, get ready. Part B. Ethenielle was noted for ruling through measured authority. Kind of like measured, managed democracy, but measured authority. Less fanatical, but definitely as effective. Not by fear or force, but by steadiness and justice, being steadfast, being consistent, and maintaining a sort of like moral relativity that wasn't extreme, but also like it held its ground. And her ruling court was known for its discipline and quiet strength, which was considered a very good and an on-point reflection of the ethos of Kandor itself. That this is what it meant to be Kandori. This was like ideal Kandori. And so to compare it, you have Queen Zenobia Khazadi, of Saldea, who ruled with like youthful zeal and impulsive pride. You have Patar Nachiman from Arafel, who was very proud but practical. You had Asar Togita from Shinar, who was very stoic and philosophical. but then you had Queen Ethenielle, who wound up kind of becoming the mother of this Borderlander alliance that had a really great central kind of emotional intelligence and moral focus that kind of brought the other rulers together in a sense of balance. That definitely tied in like her status as a very successful queen and a very, very accomplished mother. As you don't have that many kids without learning some fucking tricks. Like there's no way. Like
Correct.
Like she popped out what 7 kids, 6 to 7 kids. Like you
That
got to learn some
survived.
shit. Well, only one. She only lost one that we know of.
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. That we know of.
Yeah, I mean 3 more sons, 2 of whom were infants in 979. I mean they're what 20. They've been in combat for at least like what 5 years probably now, or trained for combat probably
Oh,
for
yeah.
at least 5 years being in the Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
The only one we don't know is another child who might have just been born towards the end of 979, later, like after the events of New Spring, right? Or
Right.
after, or the tenure in Kandor and New Spring, right? So who the hell knows? But there's a good chance that like her youngest child is 19 years old and is like been, already actively involved in combat because it's the Borderlands. When have they not really been involved in combat? But she gets Jordan kind of portrays her as like the ideal Borderland monarch, right? That this a very notable and effective amount of strength, but it's also tempered with empathy. It's not just kill everything, destroy everything, rule with an iron fist, but it's also hold steadfast to your convictions, but work with your allies, work with your friends. We should all be working together, kind of thing. Yeah. There's more that kind of like philosophy would tie into, but that comes later on, and I don't want to steal the win from those sales. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the history that is Queen Ethenielle? Because we haven't gotten into what she does in the books. Because for the books, she doesn't show up for us to really do anything in the books
Not
until we get to Path of Daggers prologue.
Yeah.
So
Later on.
if you're just reading the mainline books, not the theoretical prequel novel that some people say exists. Whatever, it's fake news, but you're going to be waiting until Path of Daggers, so book 8. And then really, I think she doesn't really start doing much until book 9.
Right. Yeah, no, book 8, I think it's like mentioned, right? She's like mentioned. I don't think she does a lot in book 8 other than they say, hey, by the way, this is a thing and she exists. But the story itself with regard to her starts in earnest actually even later than that, right? Because they just have a couple of little interactions, couple of little parlays, a couple of little hey how are yas throughout the books, and then it's like all of a sudden she's kind of one of the people in the forefront of what's happening, and I think it's kind of cool how once again we've got this theme of a character who doesn't really do a lot but still has a very it's a well-written character, right? They've got a whole life, they've got a whole philosophy, they've got a whole way of living, a whole way of feeling and thinking and being that exists outside of the main storyline, and I really like that about this character.
Have you watched The Rising of Shield Hero?
Mm-mm.
Have you, Reese? Okay, y'all should definitely watch it. Because not only with like her coming in later in the books, the queen of the main country that everything's happening in The Rising of Shield Hero, she comes in much later because she's busy elsewhere doing stuff. She reminds me a lot of Queen Ethenielle, which sounds like I'm saying SNL with a lisp. I just realized.
I always said Ethenielle.
I mean, it could be right.
I mean, it is right. It doesn't matter how you say it. However you say it is right, because it really just does not matter.
I'm sorry. How'd you say your name? Nineveh?
But I do love the idea here that we all have different ways of saying your name.
Kirukon.
Kirukon. Kirukon.
And Lube from the Borderlands, it's Ethenielle. What's up, more shoddy? How you doing? Oh, Reese, what you think? What you got? What's going on in that protected brain of yours?
Well, I like to keep it, gloved most of the time.
Bro, I swear, one of these times, if you turn on your camera and you have a glove on your head,
like one of those gloves, like just pull it over and
yeah, like you're cosplaying like a rooster.
yes.
That's the goal. Someday it will last to recording, and
One of these days.
Don't feel bad. I never last that long either.
yeah. Now, one of the things I like about sorry, I got a little bit ahead of us in the scrolling. One of the things I like about this topic is, she's kind of like almost like a sleeper agent until the end, where she's kind of just doing her own thing. She's fulfilling her duty at the Borderlands, and we're fulfilling our own story. We're following our Edmund's fielders. We're following the key points of the story, but it's one of those things that's kind of interesting where the story never stops. Where after the the Trolloc Wars, these are the areas that don't. The battle never stops for them. For other parts of Randlands, for the Westlands, it kind of goes on intermittence. There's not as much happening. You can kind of get back to normal things, but for the Borderlands, this battle never stops. They don't sleep. Their vigilance doesn't end. And I think that's interesting to kind of get to these stories where it's like these people, their part in the last battle is always at the forefront, whereas for the rest of the world, it gets to be kind of like a background thing. We don't think of it as much. They're able to forget it, which is kind of a privilege, like we don't really think of it, but the fact that they're able to forget that the last battle is coming, that the Trollocs are at the forefronts, we can forget that the rest of the time. And these are people, this is a queen who she was in her world. You don't get that privilege. You don't get to forget that the last battle is coming. You don't get to forget that the Trollocs are ever advancing on your forefront. Like she's a queen of the last battle, and she has been at that battle since she was elected queen. And I think it's interesting to kind of get that kind of rare glimpse. The Borderlands are they're like that last line of resistance where everybody else might have forgotten, but the Borderlands don't forget. Like they don't get to forget. They have to fight this battle.
Yeah.
They don't
Well,
have the
and they-
luxury of regarding Trollocs as, an old fairy tale just to scare
Yeah.
kids.
And that's what I was just going to say is the Borderlanders have done this so well, despite the very highly contrasted personalities, right? Ethenielle is very disciplined, very in control, very her presence commands a lot of respect. So she's got the other Borderlander rulers are very, hot-headed, very passionate, very emotional. And despite all this, they've done that job of holding back the wave of shadow spawn for so long and so effectively that people just a couple hundred miles south don't even believe that shadow spawn are real. Like they're fairy tales. There's something that, I mean, maybe there's something up there, but it's not what everybody says it is. No, it's worse than what everybody says it is. And so this is one of those, and we talked about this over the Gathering Madness, about how the world is already at war. By the time we catch up to Rand in Eye of the world has already been at war for 1,000 years. They just didn't know it, and the Borderlanders are the ones who have the taste of that. So these are very deadly serious people who take what they do very, very seriously because they are one of the few people who understand the stakes.
Yep. So yeah, I guess as I mentioned earlier, so when the kind of books pick up, and I believe this is what happens in the prologue of Path of Daggers, all four leaders of the four Borderland nations get together and they all basically make a blood pact. Because they make this unprecedented historic decision because for them it is breaking their oath. Because they make a blood pact to leave with their armies and ride together south, to leave the borderland, to go confront the dragon, the alleged dragon reborn. And they kind of do so. They're not doing so out of disbelief. They're doing so out of a desire for certainty. And kind of the mentality is, if the dragon is false, the world is doomed anyway. If the dragon is true and it is the dragon reborn, then we've got to serve him without question anyway. So either way, that's kind of where they go. They're like, it ultimately doesn't matter what we decide to do. But it is a big thing for them because they're like, we've held this oath to defend, the Westlands against the Blight for thousands of years at this point, and we're collectively abandoning that oath and abandoning our people, kind of, because they're taking the bulk of their armies from all four nations to go south, which also is going to believably and realistically lead to trouble with other nations. Like, how do you think, Andor and Ilion and all of these other, and Amadisia and everything, all of these other nations are going to feel about a massive Borderlander army marching south?
For real.
Whenever they've never left the Borderlands before.
Well, and they also have sort of the unfair advantage of an assurance, right? Because as we learn later on, there was a prophecy kept secret by the Borderlanders that they knew that they knew the sign, which they took. And I would even suggest that they were less concerned with whether or not he was the Dragon Reborn and more concerned with where he was in his Dragon Reborn journey, right? Because they kind of had this idea that if we test you and you get angry and kill us all, well, then we're all dead, which is kind of stupid, but but also then they know that, hey, if we do this and he passes the test, now we know that we have a chance to win. And so for them to leave the Borderlands and just kind of turn their back on their sworn duties, I mean, it's right there in her titles. Okay, it's not just that she's Ethenielle, the Queen of Kandor. She is the Shield of the North. Like, for her to take the title that's been bestowed upon her family and that she wears as a mantle, and for her to just kind of not really meh, but more like, we're going to put this on pause really quick because this is more important than my family's action in this, my family's role in this conflict for the last 1,000 years.
Yeah. So collectively, the March of the Borderlander rulers kind of makes it to Bramwood and Andor, where they wound up camping for the winter. And it's there that Queen Ethenielle, along with the rest of the rulers, wound up meeting with Elaine Kirukon, who is in the middle of her ascension arc at this point. And basically, Elaine has functional control of Andor and the ruling thing, even though she doesn't hold the throne. She still has, by this point, because of her being Morghase's child and the daughter heir, she basically walks in, and with the support she quickly gains from the house is loyal to House Kirukon. She has functional control, like not loyal, but functional control. And ultimately, they agree that as long as Elaine doesn't raise a hostile hand towards the Borderlander military that are marching through, they will ultimately, after winter, go with her south towards Murundi. After the winter, basically, it's like, hey, don't attack us while we're here, and we'll march with you to bolster your strength down to Murundi after. And they're like, and this is where they finally make it to Farmatting, and Rand agrees to a meeting with the Borderlander rulers, and this is where they test the Dragon Reborn. And Queen Ethenielle takes the lead and is the first to go into negotiations, and full-on Cole Cox slaps the shit out of Rand as part of this test.
Splits his lip and everything. She does not hold back, y'all.
Yeah, like she's a warrior queen. Like she's fit, she's strong. Like she's. I guarantee you, he saw fucking stars.
Hell yeah.
And I know each one of them like strikes him for a reason, but I can't remember. Do you have that handy, or do you remember, Josh?
Oh no, it's like one for the honor, one for the blah blah. Yeah, no, they each have you know, if I'd have been a smart person, I would have looked it up
Here we go.
beforehand.
Hold on. This is chapter 51, the Taking Storms. Let's see, the test. When they finally meet Rand in the Black Hills, they confront him directly. Aesar explains that they have waited 1,000 years for this moment and cannot risk following a false dragon. It's to drop Rand to a test of control, faith, and humility. Each monarch strikes him in turn, a symbolic challenge to see how he responds. Will he retaliate in anger? Will he use his overwhelming power? Or will he endure as a true dragon reborn must? Being struck without striking back is a mark of a warrior who has mastered pride and fear, both of which can destroy a kingdom. So this is Borderlander tradition. The hits are not punishment, they are ritual acts of verification, and they're testing whether the man claiming to be the dragon has the humility and restraint to lead them against the shadow. He endures the blows without flinching or channeling, and his composure convinces them that he truly is the dragon reborn, fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. So, yeah, it's Borderlander tradition in a sense. That's a traditional Borderlander test. Like, are you just going to, like, react? Basically, are you reactionary, or can you have, like, a calm, stable head on your shoulders kind of thing? So Ethenielle hits him, and then the three of the other rulers hit him, and then Fatara Notchman asked Rand a question about Ethenielle Kirukon, and then Rand answers. Ethenielle Kirukon was a clerk who worked in Lews Theron's headquarters during the War of Power during the Age of Legend. So I guess Rand answers correctly. And then the four rulers agree that he is, in fact, the Dragon Reborn, and they officially begin real negotiations. And that's when Rand says, okay, well, you need to swear your allegiance, or I'll leave your army to sit where it is, and you won't be in the last battle.
Ooh, which, like, talk about scary. Once again, You guys have two jobs.
Yeah.
I always thought this was an interesting kind of like, it was like a wait, but what's true kind of moment where we have the Borderlands taking this ages old test against Rand, and yet he passes. So you have to assume that there's this like, oh, this rebirth is part of him, but at the same time it's like, but we have word from Robert Jordan himself that part of this is madness. And so it's like this weird kind of like, but it's not all madness because he's able to fulfill this thing. And it's kind of this weird, like, yes and kind of moment where it's kind of both.
Well, and we've kind of discussed that.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and we've kind of discussed that before too, where we talked about sort of the nature of Rand's insanity and what does that mean. And one of the things that people don't like to really acknowledge or talk about is the fact that the forces of the light got super lucky that the nature of his insanity gave him access to the memories of the past. Like now, granted, just like Cad Swain said, it also did give him, a screaming identity crisis. So that was less than ideal.
Well, the other good thing, this testing also, this happens in Towers of Midnight. So at this point, we have Bodhisattva Rand.
Yes.
Rand has had his, I'm going to murder Cad Swain. I almost killed my dad. I'm going to go back to the top of Dragon Mount, sorry. And, destroy the Choden Call by virtue of, am I going to destroy the pattern itself or not? And it's after this that, Nynaeve delves him to see if she can, heal his madness, because she's figured out how to heal everybody else's madness. And she's like, oh, fuck.
Ain't no way.
She's like, she's basically like, I could pluck the thorns of madness from his brain, for the next like decade and not make any progress. But then she also notices like it seems like there's like something in between the madness and his brain.
Well,
So
and Reese, to your point, he even tells them, "You guys have no idea how close you came to dying, you idiots," and basically explains to them that he's insane. And he was like, "If I had come when you wanted me to come, you would have doomed the world with this testing." Like, so he kind of chastises them a little bit, like for being reckless. Which, okay, but once again, Ethenielle is not known for recklessness. She's known for discipline. She's known for, hey, this is some shit that needs to happen. Okay, this is
they
important.
also hadn't seen or met him. Like
Exactly.
it's like being busy and then getting mad, like legitimately mad at somebody for calling you. Like they had no way of knowing you were fucking busy.
Well, I would say that the distinction is more, hi, you're the general that's supposed to lead the armies in the last battle. We're the ones who have been leading the last battle for the last 1,000 years. You haven't given us a single moment of your attention. You haven't given us the ability
Welcome to the farm. Quit bitching.
yeah, exactly. Like, you haven't given us any ability to
Started a whole
discuss.
school of male channelers that can nuke the entire country, and I saw them twice. What?
Right?
Who cares?
But it's true though. Like, so you've got this situation where they're also a little pissy with
I've
him.
only hung out with one of my wives, really. Like, what are you bitching about?
Daddy Dragon Reborn just
Level.
went to Andor for the milk and cigarettes and never came back.
Oh man. So anyway, something I like is of the monarchs that have all gathered to be at the field of Marilor, right? To attend the reading and the bit of negotiation that happens and the signing of the Dragon's Peace. And the fact that we're doing an episode on a specific person might give this answer away. There is one monarch that themselves, as the acting ruler, does not attend the signing of the Dragon's Peace. Want to guess who it is, Reese?
I'm gonna guess it's our girl. I mean,
It is.
it seems like the correct answer.
It is Queen Ethenielle. She instead leaves her oldest son, Antal, to act in her stead.
He could do it.
She, and I think this is the greatest thing, and if you're following along in our little outline, we're on part D, part one here. An embodiment of the essence of Borderlander duty. Vigilance, sacrifice, and honor in service of the greater good. She could have stayed to be a part of the Dragon's Peace, this incredibly historic, never going to happen again, at least in her lifetime, probably not her children's lifetime, ever again kind of moment. But she has learned that while she has been gone with the rest of the Borderlanders, Kandor has fallen to the shadow. So she leaves to go back to fulfill her duty as queen, to do what she can for her people. Says a lot about her, not gonna lie. Kind of makes the other Borderlander lords look a little dickish. All right, a little wussified. If you know what I mean. None too impressed.
I do indeed know what you mean.
But so she goes back to help her people retreat. Later on, the Borderlander armies are transported via gateways to Tarwin's Gap, and they join Land's forces fighting the Shadows armies. At some point before going to Tarwin's Gap, Queen Ethenielle has remarried. She marries Kaelin Ramson, who is one of Queen Tenobia's uncles. So, yeah.
You know, this is a mild off topic here. But I was talking about this earlier tonight, that one of the things I really enjoy about the last battle, and kind of just fantasy in general, whenever there's a kind of end of existence battle in the works, like, it seems like existence always fights against that, like, oh, we're fighting not just against like a bad guy, but against like non-existence. Like, this bad guy wants to completely take us out, completely wipe us out of existence altogether. there seems to be this like battle against that with just like ultimate like, oh, we're getting married, we're having a baby, we're doing this, like ultimate creation against the threat of non-existence. And I always think that's interesting how that always works out.
We gonna fight. We gonna fuck.
They get.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like it happened. World War One, World War Two, Korea, Vietnam. How many World War II movies are there where you have folks, guys that go, they join the military, they finish basic, and they use their weekend pass, their 3-day pass furlough to go get married and have like a 1-day honeymoon at Granny's mountain cottage, and they're getting married so that it's okay for them to pump a baby. Because this is very much an era where like it's very much not okay to have a kid out of wedlock. Like if you're a widow because your husband died in war, like that's completely fine. During the 40s and before, but it was very common, and I think like Robert Jordan tried his best to embody that.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to be like there was a lot of like battlefield marriages, which is like cool. Like just imagine like a priest running through the last battle just. Say I do. Hurry up. I gotta fucking go. All right, you're married. All right, let's go. Like, just fucking, all right, you're married.
And what's funny is that even on like a more like, I guess, broader scale, I actually read about, I just read about this today online about how they've actually done this study on cells after death. And they have found a new kind of existence, like a new like layer of existence between like life and decay, where after a body dies, like after the energy kind of ceases, there is a weird kind of like burst of kind of like a last ditch effort of all of the cells to kind of like, oh no, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna make it, we're gonna do this. And there's this weird like influx of growth and development and kind of like, no, we're gonna make it after death, that they're kind of just observing for the first time, where it's like there's cells and then there's cells once they've started decaying, but they've found this new thing that like after death there's actually this influx of growth to kind of prevent the cells from dying. And they found this weird, there's like, they're actually finding more use from cells after death, opposed to cells before death, because there's like more growth potential. And so it's kind of opened this entire new like venue of investigation into a type of cells. And I was like, geez, that's so weird. Like in the Wheel of Time, construct of everything, where it's like, gosh, when faced with extermination, cells will like do anything, even in their own small little way, when like part of a bigger whole. They will try so hard to hold on to existence when faced with extermination. They're like, no, we can make it. Hold on. Just wait. We
can do this.
We don't need that. We don't need the brain. We can be fine. Like, I just think that's
posthumous
so
bodygasm.
That, like, even on such a small scale, we're like, no, hold on, we can make it.
Which is crazy too, because like
do this.
There's a ton that your body does to like help you die. There's a ton that your body does to like put you at ease, and like kind of like a ton that your body just naturally does to make your natural passing easier. I mean, the same can't necessarily be said for like traumatic circumstances, but
right. No, but for like a natural death.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%
Anyway,
true.
someone that didn't die.
It's just so interesting how like there's that there's like that dichotomy where it's like it will make you feel better while the cells themselves are reaching out for like the last bit of like, please let me exist, but you'll be okay, relax. So interesting.
I love that.
So interesting.
So Queen Ethenielle, She doesn't have to deal with that quite yet because she survives the last battle. She is among the survivors of the last battle. She's there whenever Land orders the retreat of his forces from Tarwin's Gap. Even though they were fighting valiantly and bravely in the Cernar campaign, they just really couldn't keep holding on and had to retreat back to Marilor. And then when the last battle is fought and won and over, she, Queen Ethenielle, is amongst the survivors there to carry her wisdom and her steadfast rule into a new world. So it's, I don't know. I think it's really cool that she survives, and I think it says a lot about Robert Jordan. I mean, we have a lot of characters throughout the books that try seemingly really hard to be like really good rulers or to do the best that they can, and like they try but they fall short in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying that Queen Ethenielle is perfect by no stretch. Is anybody perfect? But when you look at like a strong ruler that just kind of has the qualities that you would want a strong ruler to have, but not be like overbearing or overzealous or like overtly like super righteous in their own motives and that kind of stuff. Like Queen Ethenielle seems to be like a very well balanced ruler, without just having like this bland kind of like backstory and history and life to her. I mean, she's one of my favorite rulers from the show. I mean, she's all about like, hey, like chill out. It's not like it's serious, but we don't have to freak out about everything. But she's also not, oh yeah, we can think about this for, the next like 8 months. She's like, no, we kind of got to do something now. Like we can't dilly dally. Like, which I really like. We shall not dilly dally. We're already late.
Yeah, she's one of those realistic, like she's a realistic ruler that is like kind of forced to deal with the end times like for her entire life. Where it's like I feel like the last battle for her is just like another battle. Where it's like everybody else is kind of like, oh my gosh, it's the last battle. She's like, okay, this one's the last one. Are you sure? Is that your final answer? Okay, because we'll be here. I mean, we have
Well,
been.
that's one of the fun conversations to be had as well, right? Because the blight retreats and the Borderlanders can go back up and they have a much easier time of it, but also
There's still work to be done.
there's still work to be done. There's still shit that needs to be done.
Yeah. There's still Trollocs that are alive. There's still Jumara that are alive. There's still creatures of the Blight that are alive, which is awesome for the Borderlanders because that means that the Borderlands as a nation still have a tie to their original purpose. Except now they get to witness as like for the first time in thousands of years, they get to be on the advancing front, not the adapting and retreating front. And like
And
just imagine what's going to happen in the coming like years or decades when the forces of the Borderlands and the united forces that fought under the banner of the Malkiri get to march back into Malkir. Like, bro, can you imagine the feast and celebration? Like that, there's going to be a fifth Borderland nation, the return of the fifth Borderland.
Oh
nation.
yeah, which was universally mourned, right?
Yeah.
Like people don't get that. Like it was
Even amongst the IEO.
Borderlands anyway, and even with the
IEO, we're like, oh shit, that is incredibly sad.
Exactly.
You know how badass you got to be as a Westlander for even the IEO to be like, I'm really sorry about your homeland. Like,
right?
We get it, man. We're stuck out here in the fucking desert for a sin we don't even remember. Like, but at least we still kind of have a home. Like yours is.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh man, good times. I like Ethenielle. I really do. Like again, this is the whole background breakdown. That's why we do these background breakdown. That's why we do these, because we love these characters. Robert Jordan, we like to talk about the fact that there's over 1,000 named characters in these books, but Robert Jordan didn't just say
over 2,600.
I want thousands of characters in my book. He gave them all consistent personality, and I think there's something
over 2,700.
There's just something so impressive about that, and I think that I think that we stumbled onto something really awesome with this, because now we get to talk about Ethenielle, which is I don't think a topic that a lot of people are going to talk about. And there's substance here. Ethenielle is a really great ruler who's been doing her job really really well. And I think when you really look at the context of the situation and say what she does as the ruler of Kandor, it makes it that much more amazing that she walked away from her own country. Because once again, we look at this. I think that we take a sort of an Andorran perspective on this, right? Because the books take place from an Andorran perspective. Rand and Perrin and Matt and all those. We are all from Andor. Well, she's not just leaving the Southlands unprotected. She's leaving her homeland largely unprotected. And I think a lot of people need to put that into perspective. This wasn't just her going, let's go find this motherfucker who calls himself the Dragon Reborn. This was very much a situation in which she went, okay, it's my job to keep not only the lands to the south safe, it's my job to keep my own people safe. And where she has the reputation of being disciplined and is wise and thinks about her decisions, you can say for a fact that this is not a rash decision to just gather up your entire army and then leave. And I think that's one of the things I think that's the biggest takeaway. I guess if I'm doing like a takeaway right now or like a closing thought, I guess that's my biggest takeaway from this is to really think about who she was as a person, who she was as a character, and to say how level-headed, down to earth, and disciplined she was, and how big of a moment that is for her to just kind of turn her back on her country because this is more important. And I really love that.
Yeah, to have a moment that at almost at surface seems irresponsible, but at the same time be like so painfully responsible that you have to walk away.
All the Borderlanders are doing.
That's right. Get on our level.
So some cool notes and parallels to kind of finish this thing off as we're, I think, about in the middle of like final thoughts, honestly. But Ethenelle's name, a surname.
Kick that one off. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Ethenielle's surname, Kirukon, similar to the sword of Kirukon. So her last name, Kirukon. The sword of Kirukon, Kirukan. Symbol of the rulers of Kandor, perhaps indicating the importance of her house. Michael Livingston also notes in Origins of the Wheel of Time that her name Materasu comes from the Japanese goddess of the sun, like we mentioned earlier, Amaterasu, also linked to Amarasu, one of the heroes of the Horn. Amarasu, who the hero of the Horn, also carries the sword of the sun, and linguistic similarities between the names, the legendary sword, and the sky theme of the Throne of Clouds and the sun may indicate that Robert Jordan intended for all of these to be linked in some way, shape, or form, perhaps to the extent of Amarasu having been an ancestor of Ethenielle's. That would be a pretty cool idea. I can't take credit for that. That's on what.fandom.com. I like it because it also ties in with the kind of Asiatic type naming conventions that all of their names go through, and I love it. Michael Livingston also notes in Origins that her first name, Ethenielle, comes from Ethenielle, which in the Christian biblical tradition means God-given strength. So, pretty fucking... Plus, anytime I get to say Amaterasu, I'm happy because I'm a Naruto nerd.
Well, and it's also just another example of how brilliant Robert Jordan is, tying myth and legend from our own time into the main story from, arguably our world, 20,000 years in the future, and how those.
I mean, is the myth and legend really from our time? Is it from their time?
Exactly, and I love that. I absolutely love it. It gives me all the happiness.
Maybe ours is the myth and theirs is the legend.
Maybe.
This is actually one of the things that first drew me to the Wheel of Time when it was first introduced to me. I had, dabbled in my own creative writing and things, and I really, really enjoyed putting a lot of detail into names and into like the meaning behind those names. And that was one of the things that really drew me into Robert Jordan when I first found the Wheel of Time and when I first found all of these mythos, was that he took that same care in creating like his character names, all of his, like everything was so carefully thought out that I was like, oh, never mind. I don't need to write my story. Robert Jordan already took care of it. It's fine.
We're fine. We're fine.
We're fine. And I just really appreciate that, you know, attention to detail where he did kind of create that convergence of both mythos and you know, the story, the myth, the legend, and put those all together where it ties in and it makes a cohesive story within a story. I really appreciate that with the world of Robert Jordan.
I also like Materasu because I forgot about this part. I just clicked on it to see if I could find anything real quick. This part I found, it reminded me of why I do like Materasu from the book so much. Because when Oliver blows the horn, she shows up and she chastises Matt Cawthon for having constant doubts about Rand's sanity, being like, you owe Luce there in your life twice over, you fucking dick. And I'm like,
She straight up calls it out.
Yeah. Like, you owe him your life. You know that, right? And he's like,
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice
over. Anyway.
So
No, I love it. I think it's really good to like find a character that feels well-rounded, consistent, stable, and effective. And effective in like the right ways, because Queen Ethenielle, she serves her purpose and then doesn't have a problem going to do a duty that she swore to do. Like
duty.
Yeah. Like, she's like, okay, cool, y'all are doing this historic signing. I don't really give a shit about signing a piece of paper. My people are dying. I'm going back home to try to help them. Like, my people need me. I must go. And the rest of the Borderland leaders are like, okay, cool. Thanks for leading us here and leading the negotiations and making this whole thing really possible, because you negotiated our whole passage here. We'll be here for the last battle. We'll see you when you get back. And I'm like, I get it. Fate of humanity versus the fate of like a couple nations. Yeah. But I'm also kind of like, it would have been nice if y'all like, you know, it's like, hey, like, I don't expect me to ask somebody to go out and like them to pay. But if they like at least like feign like they're going for their wallet, it's a nice gesture. You know? They could have at least been like, oh, wait, do you need any help? It's like, bro,
Yeah.
like, you could have at least like feigned like, oh, you surely shouldn't go alone.
At least act like you're gonna pay.
Yeah, it's like what you have to do in like Japanese culture, like if like your cup is out of sake, after you pour everybody else's, you have to do like
pour your own.
You have to,
but you have to give
you have
a
to
fake.
do like but you also can't immediately give it up whenever somebody asks, because then you reveal that you were revealing their. Yeah, you've seen him too.
Yes, I love Katsuro Sunshine. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's so fucking great. You got to make at least 3 feints before you reluctantly give up the. And then you have to be really upset about giving it up, like, oh, fine. Or else you expose their rudeness.
That's right.
At the risk of exposing anybody else's rudeness. I think that does it for tonight.
So rude.
Go check your smoke detector. Make sure the batteries are good. If they're not, change them. Be safe out there. It's a crazy world. Or at least just take the battery out. The smoke detector can't beep if there's no battery in it at all. I'm not saying you should do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's batteries in all of mine, so I don't know what to say. But
hey, mine work. I can tell because whenever I start cooking, they start beeping at me.
yeah, my neighbors love it if I like cook a steak inside, like in the skillet, the way you're supposed to, because then it gets real good and smoky and it smells great inside. But then all the smoke detectors get angry because, you know, they're fucking communist.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening. Again, blacktowerpod.com to check out all the stuff we have there, including our Patreon, where you can get access to episodes live. We are back to recording early, so if you listen live, this episode will be out publicly about a week and a half later. So patrons get access to episodes a full week early. So like this episode will go public on Friday, the 7th of November. Patrons will get it this Friday, the 31st of October. Also known as Halloween, aka All Hallows Eve, aka Candy Day,
This is Halloween.
aka I need to find a costume because I think I'm going out to Halloween stuff with waffles.
Have fun.
Yeah, we'll see. There's plenty of stuff going on down there, so we might Uber so that I don't have to worry about driving. Because as an adult for Halloween, there's nothing to do but enjoy spirits. Hey!
I
feel like I have friends now.
This motherfucker.
What does it sound like when I enjoy spirits?
Hold on. Here we go.
There it is.
Is there such a thing as too wet? Yes. Yes,
No.
there is.
I got that one wrong.
When it sounds like you're sloshing a bucket full of mop water.
That's how you know you're doing it right, I thought.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, we literally have a song that says, get a bucket and a mop.
That's a strong phrase for we, and I can't stand that individual, so... Get a bucket and a mop for that shit-ass no talent. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Black Tower Podcast. I have been Andrew, your Bijan Mahale.
Whew, and I've been Reese, your bucket and mop Mahale.
With the greeny weeny vagini. Some people have a green thumb, but she's got a greeny vagini. Oh, God.
Yeah.
There's a Terangrial for that.
Rocking Wheel of Time makes me so moist.
Weirdly obsessed with that.
That's all I got.
Good night. We love y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
You've been waiting for this moment, for this feeling to grow.